fun. This is really totally fun for me because I wanted to mess with it a little bit, but
Please do.
I certainly don't want to do it with a bunch of PhDs in Canada.
This is my thing. So you should see on your screen now, down at the bottom of your screen. So I don't know if I could put my hand in here.
I see my screen. Yeah,
so
now I've got controls. Yeah.
Yeah, down at the bottom of the menu, and it's a pop-up. Or does it go away, or does it stay on?
Yeah, I have to move down, or it goes away. Right, and that must be how he's doing it, because what he's doing is he puts music on, and just a blank screen, and then all of a sudden, the person will come on in another state and present their science with their screen. Yeah, it's like they've made PowerPoints, most of them in Mac, and that's how they're doing it. And it works incredibly well because they're recording it like you are, and they're putting them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so it truly is an option to do business, because their conferences were all canceled, and a bunch of them, they get together and discuss certain aspects of diabetes. Yeah. You can't imagine how helpful that's been to me, because I don't have the money to go to college now.
Yeah.
I have a master's in public health, but I have a bachelor's in nursing. I'm a diabetes educator. I know about the disease so well. That's why they invited me, because they're doing research with animals, and they want to know how this works with people.
Yeah. That's cool that you get to do that.
Well, no, it's a gift. I mean, it's the gift of this shitty time we're having, right?
Right. You got some silver lining going on here.
Well, that's my religion, but basically, think about it for me. I mean, this opportunity, I told them, maybe I'll come up there in the fall to Canada, because there is such great research coming out of Canada. But, that's expensive for me. I'll have to pay like $1,000 to attend a conference and all that crap, and motels and the bit. I don't have that kind of money. I'm a home business. Yeah. I operate off Social Security and a small 401k. But I'm almost done. I'm going to launch. I have a book. I have a bunch of stuff going. So
that's cool.
4 years. I can't believe it's been 4 years. How long have you been in business?
1.
So you're just a beginner on some of this stuff.
As far as the business stuff goes, yeah. So I've been organizing people's home businesses, family businesses for a while. Not like huge, like 2 or 3, something like that. But I didn't really think of it as like a real business. I just like something I did, and one of them was a place I was working at, so I was getting paid for that one.
Good.
So, but it wasn't like contractor wage, which I have to do if I have my own business, because otherwise I can't take care of it's not exactly overhead. It's more like the time you put in, right? Because the networking, this kind of stuff, all this other stuff outside that people don't see. But if I don't make enough to take this time off to do all the background stuff, then, I can't contract. I can't be there for the people.
You really can't. And the other thing is, you got to get a reputation of success. And so, as you know, for me, the Jemez Pueblo people laid me off. And it was the same month I turned 62. And I thought, I've been doing this a long time, and I don't really understand the pathophysiology of diabetes and the genes and all that. Yeah. Maybe I'll just take some time and figure it out. Well, I have. This is what's also amazing. I'm a Colorado resident. So because of that, this Colorado State University, I have logon privileges to their research database. That helps me immensely, because that means less trips to UNM, because before I would only have an hour a day access to research down there. Now I have lots of research. Between being home and you can just imagine I'm standing there with my computer on top of the book return into the medical library's databases, because they gave me a logon, but it's like the building's locked. It's bonkers, right? I use my hour wisely. This is wonderful. Look at that. Intensive, what is it? Intensive care.
All right, so this is a diagram that has been like all over social network.
Oh yes, it has.
Yeah, and so it's something that I heard people saying flattening curve, which is this gray blob here. My beautiful writing. I've got a sketchy thing, which I should probably pull up sometime. And this is something that I had to ask my wife at one point. I was like, they're talking about like flattening the curve or like, something about that. And I just didn't quite connect. And she's like, oh, it's because, instead of having a peak bell curve, you have a bell curve that, the peak bell curve, you have a bell curve that's like more lengthened out. And when she explained it, I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. And then I saw this diagram and I even said it better. It's because this is the quantity that we're able to actually,
having
supply.
to be in ICU,
right.
Yes.
These poor folks up here, can you see my cursor?
But they did it wrong. So here's the part that should have happened in January.
Right.
Okay, in January, Spencer Wells, which is a famous anthropologist, he was on Twitter and he connected with me. And so I wanted him to find out if he could find a cheap place to run DNA. And this is for another business. Have you met Paul at 1 Million Cups? So
yeah,
the
totally.
problem with Trump is he blocked China off from us for a while, and we lost our connections to DNA analysis that's inexpensive because it was all being done out of China.
Wow.
So I couldn't believe Spencer Wells was even willing to tweet with me, and connect. So he did. And so in the process of that, he looked at China and then he realized what was happening there. And he went ape shit basically and started tweeting every hour on it. And I saw his tweets. Yeah, it's SPNCER Wells, Dr. Spencer Wells. It's bizarre. He did a bunch of work for National Geographic.
CER?
That's why he's a quote unquote famous person.
Yeah.
And he has a PhD in medical anthropology. So I started tweeting his tweets, sending them through and copying real Donald Trump on them and real, VP Pence and whoever else I could think of in the government.
Yeah.
I got carpal tunnel from doing that.
Oh.
No response. No, I've had it a lot. I have splints, but
okay.
I think I
saw it. Yeah.
When you're 66 years old, this is how life goes. So, and thanks for listening. So no response, right? But by February, I was reading online any of the China newspapers that were in English, via Twitter, click on them and read. And so I realized this is going to be ugly. What needed to happen was everyone needed to start practicing masks and gloves back in January and distancing. And they could have avoided all those people maybe dying. But as you can tell, it's really jacked the economy. And the other piece is, how do we do that in certain businesses?
Also,
that makes sense. How would you do it? Would you show up at my house with a mask and gloves to help me organize?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's ways. I mean, there's some stuff. But also, I don't think we would have listened. Like, we wouldn't have listened.
They weren't listening.
We wouldn't have listened as people, not even the government. As people, we wouldn't have listened until it started happening here, right?
That's right. That's the problem. New York City held a big Chinese New Year festival.
Yeah, we didn't
That's
care.
why their rate went up like that. It was horrible to watch. And Spencer Wells took off and he left the United States and he went to Singapore.
Really?
I mean, he must have some money stowed somewhere.
Well.
So, but because you don't just go to Singapore. He and his wife went to Singapore.
Well, it's expensive.
They could only stay there so long, and Singapore kicked them out. So now they're on some island. But Spencer Wells has been worried about the pandemic potential forever.
Yeah.
And he overreacted. But right now we have to figure out how to get out of this thing because we have to. I mean, the economy will be worse than that the economy will be like that gray line.
Oh,
this is where we are economically too. My 401k, they keep sending me letters. I'm living on my savings. I have maybe 3 months I can just do savings rather than 401k.
Yeah.
But the entire economy will go bust.
There's going to be some challenges. can you see my cursor?
Absolutely. This is awesome.
Okay. There's also a thing called a spotlight, apparently. So
Yeah,
I click
they
on
try
that
to do that. Oh,
and see
cool.
that?
Yeah, they can do different colors. Those science people were doing different. We laugh, but is Zoom free?
It can be. I purchased my account. Oh,
Oh,
why
okay.
is my laser up there? Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, you
So
got, I don't know, there's
can I
wonders
leave that
around
alone?
sometimes. Perfect.
Anyway, but yeah, so that I can point at it. That's funny. Yeah, so this ventilator thing too, and this is the one that I found interesting too, is this angle here. Is that this is going to happen possibly because people will get sick and possibly even die that are supplying this stuff, the ventilators and care.
Well, I don't think so. And here's the weird part. Are you ready for weird?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, a lot of people in the keto movement, have you heard of keto diet movement?
Yeah.
Okay, so the people that run Verta Health are online friends of mine.
Yeah.
I was going to move to Denver and work in their call center, and I talked myself out of it. But so one of them is Dr. Jeff Stanley. Anyway, I was doing the research of this keto diet, and I came across something, and it's a anthropology genetic research that looks at ACE inhibitors receptors on the body. In
Yeah.
other words, there's a genetic drift, and I can send you this through email. I can send you the research. But a certain part of the population, as we moved out of Africa a very long time ago, there wasn't enough salt. We have to have a certain amount of salt. And so a certain part of the population have a particular kind of gene, the ACE2 that you're seeing about. Some people have more of those receptors anyway. It sounds bizarre, but those people are the ones that are going to die, not just the people who smoke or overweight and poor health, but some of the younger people that you see go down, they may be people with the ACE2 inhibitor genes. So that came up online on Twitter, and there's a whole lot of research now. I can't even keep up with it, nor should I. It's way beyond my ability to understand.
Yeah.
But how that receptor is and what induces the body to make the receptor, that's way beyond. I don't have enough cell physiology to understand the research. So I know, I look at it and go, oh, what's that about? But the people that were young, that have died, that didn't smoke, and it doesn't make any sense why they died. It seems there's a genetic drift that's affecting the ability, but we don't have a test for that either. Even if Spencer were to go back to Singapore or somewhere and try to get a test, he can't. Everybody's working on this horrible virus that knows how to do, I think it's called virology, and anybody that knows DNA, how to take DNA and look at it and find the base pairs, they're all working on this COVID. Looks like what Trump, Bill Gates and the guy that owns Facebook and his wife, they're all putting out every dime they have to do research. Not every dime, I'm sure, but they have billions, right?
Yeah.
But and so eventually maybe they'll get, they're very close to figuring out a vaccine, and also close to figuring out those receptors, who has them and who doesn't.
That's
Can I get a genetic test or you, so that we could sit next to each other in public and I don't have to worry about where you were the last 14 days?
Right. Those are crazy.
For me,
that's cool.
I've got so much juniper pollen allergy right now, I sound sick, don't I?
Oh, so can I ask just to clarify about Spencer Wells here? So you said did he give you some helpful information, or did he just tell you that he was freaking out?
Oh no, he started tweeting. I tried to go backwards to on Twitter. Apparently it's difficult to get into your account beyond 30 days backwards.
Oh yeah.
Is it? I mean,
I don't know. I actually don't do Twitter.
I don't like it, but I do like it. So
Yeah,
right
I don't have
now
a,
it
I don't
makes
have
me
yeah.
horribly depressed. So I'm going to tell you, don't get on Twitter unless you have
Right.
a person that you know is not going to post all that COVID stuff, because it's
Right.
really depressing. So basically, he was the spokesman for National Geographic, and they had this big DNA project. That's why I reached out to him, and I was shocked that he even responded.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I, right? Nobody.
You're a
So,
smart woman. That's with some medical
but
background.
see, I have a tremendous background. I took 2 semesters of college biochemistry, or I'd be lost. But the thing is, he went crazy tweeting, trying to get the attention of the government.
Yeah.
He hates Trump, so he wouldn't at real Trump or at VP or whatever, but I will. I'm fearless, right?
Yeah.
And so now I think if we all wear masks and gloves and stay 4 feet apart, we're fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Because the gloves are going to help you to remember not to touch surfaces, or you won't be touching it.
Yeah, and it's not
Especially
so
if
fun to
you're
touch your
home.
face with a glove on.
Right. And then the mask, if somebody accidentally isn't wearing one and sneezes or something, you won't freak. Hey, there we go. Now it's back to the way you looked first.
Yeah. So I
can
took.
shrink. Let me shrink chat or close. No, wait. I was going to shrink it. So how much is it to have Zoom a month? Roughly?
So I think I paid $150 for the year, so it's about $15
for a
a
year.
month.
So that's cheap then, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's perfect.
So that said, you can do a free account, and I if you're going to use it for your actual business or your actual meetings and stuff, I encourage you to buy it. Oh, yeah. Partly because you have a little more versatility, but also this is inspired by my own business coach, Miriam. She's like, pay for the thing. It's like, but you don't need to if you're just going to use it for contacting people, or they have a free version, and if you have a meetings of more than 2 or 3 people, then it gives you a limit of 40 minutes of that meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sherry and I are going to do one Monday. Oh. So I'm going to go over and to the source, and Sherry's going to do one of her meetings. I guess she paid for it. Yeah. It will be fun. But what it is.
But you don't need to. If you want to call up anybody you want to know, or anyone you know, they don't have it, you don't have it, you can use it like Skype. Have you ever used Skype?
Yes. Yeah, once.
Yeah. So Skype, I think, has a free version too. I haven't used Skype in a long time. But
right. It's Skype is funky on I use it on my Windows. Yeah, it's funky. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wait, so what don't you could use FaceTime.
Right. You're right. You could use anything, right? So it's like, if you want to get more accustomed to using Zoom, while, because if you're going to do meetings like this and you want to get accustomed to it, it's really advantageous for them for you to log on without an account, because then you get accustomed to it and you're more willing to work with other people on Zoom and I like this system because I already know how it's set up. Does that make sense? Right.
And I think, I don't know what Verta Health is doing for their business model, but it's a telemedicine model. And so their customers are people that are losing weight and they have diabetes. And what they're doing is they're doctors ordering labs and having people get their labs, and then somehow they're managing them. And I bet you they're doing it by Zoom. Rather than setting up their own video network. You still there?
Yeah, I got this. My wife is calling.
Go ahead, enter your phone. Enter all.
It happens to be my wife too, so I'll just do this.
I'll hang. In fact, I'm going to close my drape because there's a big glare.
Hey, beautiful.
See if it does it. Oh, he's got it.
Hey, Eve. So you there?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I went and got some water.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, that was my wife. She's actually at UNMH right now because we have a newborn,
Oh, congratulations.
3 weeks or something, and she's just went through a kidney operation, and she just got done.
What's wrong with her kidneys?
They had 4 ureters.
Okay.
So
So they
usually,
just took some of them out, yeah.
kind of. So, but anyway, so that was what she called about. So I just double checked with her.
Well, I am so sorry to hear that. I think you probably want to go to the hospital
Now,
and check her over.
A couple things are. One is I don't want to.
Does it stress you out more?
No, no, it's just that like I have other things I'm going to do too, and not to be like let's see here now. For one, this is something I already had planned, and if I did, I would like get someone else to host this meeting. So I'm going to finish this meeting up anyway. But I've got some other meetings too. But I want to go sort of, but I'm not allowed to anyway. They can't have visitors.
Right. You can only look through the glass. I know.
Not even that. No, because
Really?
the COVID thing, no visitors in the hospital.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah.
Only your wife can go, right?
Right.
Only
So she went because she had to carry Olivia. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if it helps you to feel better, I guess I'm trying to think. I guess he was 2 years old. My younger son, when he was 2, had to have a big surgery also, and then my older son, I think he was 2.5. He had to get tubes in his ear. I mean, it's scary to have a kid go in, but yeah, with the COVID thing, it's much safer for you to not all go because your wife needs to be careful with the gloves and the mask and all the regalia.
Yeah, and again, it's the like keeping that curve.
Yes, the curve
as
down.
Flat as possible.
We can do this. We're doing it.
We may not have all the cures and everything, and the FDA and is going to make some things take a little longer too, which is good because I also don't want to freak people out by giving them bad medicine.
Right.
But in the meantime, what we can do is keep things within our current management. And instead of like making it all freaked out. So that's just simple things
right.
Like that.
No. And I did look, as they say, if we can get the country to switch to a public health model, I'll explain. So if you told me you had COVID, I'd drive to your house and do the swab. I wouldn't let you come into a clinic or a hospital.
Well, you know how they do it now.
No, well, they are working on it. And then we take your temperature and leave you a pulse ox. Because if you're positive, you still may not need a ventilator and all that stuff. You still can manage at home. I've been online. I still have a little bit of carpal tunnel. I've given up trying to make change and working on the governors of different states and tweeting and saying, well, if the person has COVID and they're not going to be that sick, let's leave them home so all the healthcare people are not exposed. Because it seems to be so contagious, and eventually they will figure that DNA out. I mean, Spencer Wells and I were on there for a month, tweeting, trying to get people to pay attention, and they pay attention now. All the doctors that I am friends with on Twitter and Facebook, they're on it. We're all on it. It's just we didn't have, and I don't even know that we will ever need to have that many ventilators sitting around not doing anything.
Yeah.
That makes sense? I mean, it doesn't, like, why, if we don't need them, do we need a bunch of ventilators in a warehouse or?
Well, the way I see it is,
you got another member.
Hey, Julianna.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's see.
Wait.
Other
Hi there. Can you see me?
I get to see you. I just waved, but like my hand is like way off the sides.
I'm so grateful to you. I'm totally grateful to you, Adam.
Thank you, Eve. I'm good.
I can't stay on the meeting too much longer, but I just want you to know we have a plan and we're getting there. And so your idea with Zoom is perfect.
Thank you. Julianna, I'd like to introduce you to Eve. So Eve,
Oh.
this is Julianna. She has been the our main guest. So she's a printmaker, and I'll let her introduce herself a little bit more in a moment. But she was the first one to show up. The only guest we had the first time. We tripled our guest the second time, and she showed up again that time too. And here she is again. But she's had a great.
I'm a regular.
You're the regular, yes.
Tell me again what she does.
She's a printmaker. I'll have her introduce herself in a moment, and and Eve, I'll have you introduce yourself. But I know Eve from 1 Million Cups, but she didn't know that she knew me. I don't think when she joined. But,
well, because you didn't. Yeah, but I know you now. I mean,
yes.
I do recognize you, but yeah, I didn't recognize the business name.
Oh, that's funny. So what am I thinking here? Where did you, by the way, Eve, find out about this?
Facebook.
Really? Which part? Was it in 1 Million Cups? Was it during the video?
I'm not sure. You know, did you do a boost?
No, I just put it on something or other. But
it's the interesting part is, you know, my business account, which is under Eve Fain, my legal name.
Yeah.
This computer is assigned Eve Beavers, and so it appears that's who I am. But Eve Fain, the diabetes educator, has very few people she follows. I'm real picky.
Really?
On Facebook, and so you came up. And
that's
so
cool.
It's probably because Albuquerque, I follow 1 Million Cups.
That's probably it, yeah.
And a few other people, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm real careful because what I want is nutrition and physicians. Those would be my future customers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a competition for Verta Health, but they don't know. I also run their online group of research. Can you believe that?
That's cool.
Life's getting better, and you know, I just am grateful that you did this because now I know you.
Great.
And I'm very interested in a printmaker. What else? Like art and prints. Yeah.
So
here he's got our thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm during this you're gonna have a chance to introduce yourselves a bit more and make it all official. Okay. But, so one thing too, Eva, I wanted to touch on just so you're saying you got it through 1 Million Cups, and I have like 3, maybe 4 meetings on 1 Million Cups, and then it's converting to my Sparks Flow page because it's not really on brand for 1 Million Cups. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you want to send me your email, you can email at sparksflow.com and I can send stuff to you, or you can follow or go to my Facebook site, and that's also a place that would have the continued, because I'm going to do this every Friday. Perfect. And it's not called, as you can see, it's called Adam's Friday Flow Forum for entrepreneurs in particular. It's kind of a mouthful, but let's see if I make this. And yeah, because I started out with it labeled as how to go virtual, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know how I saw it, but
which is something that probably sounded most intriguing to people. Whereas like Flow Forum, like what is that? So, I gotta present. Oh, there we are. Present. Okay, so I'm trying to decide what the best approach is at this point. Like, I want people to know that this is a good networking, and also like you're finding out a way to sort of play around and figure out how to use this stuff, because I'm not that knowledgeable. I mean, I'm kind of new to a lot of this too. So I wanted this to be like a safe space to like just sort of check things out and bop around and stuff. And hopefully for people like Julianna and yourself, it's a way to actually make new connections that you want. So so my theme this week was going to be create meaning by reaching out. And I've got this stuff that so this is new, Julianna. I now have like a part in here where you get to introduce yourself. So this is the thing I kept was like, oh, wait. Even though I was like continually telling you things about each other. Okay, so I've got your name, what you do, and then if you type your biz info in the chat, that would be great. Because then I'll have that information. I can put it on, because I'm recording this, and what I'll do is I'll share that stuff, and other people see the video. If they want to talk to you, they'll be able to contact you through the chat that I'll post.
Okay.
Yeah, if that works.
Is this something that we fill out right here, or?
Yeah, so this is good.
Yeah.
You have a chat. Do you know how to get to chat on there at all?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so go to your chat. You get to the chat, and then just start typing in on there.
Okay.
Let me see if I can show my chat while I'm sharing the screen. Notes, Q&A. Huh. And I don't know where to find my chat at the moment. Oh, here we are. Video, pause, annotate.
Okay, there she is.
Oh, you got it? Chat, fine. Okay. So we've got Eva. You send yours privately to me, and that's fine if you want to leave it that way.
How do I do it where it's not?
So if you go down at the bottom, there's a 2:, and then or semicolon, and then it says, it gives you an option of everyone, Julianna, or me, I suppose. I don't see myself in my drop down, but I'm sure it has.
It doesn't have that over here. I don't see it.
So on the chat menu,
yeah,
look down at the bottom, or right where you typed in, right?
It's not on here. So maybe something you see and I don't.
Well, Julianna did hers to everyone. See how it says Julianna Kirwin to everyone in blue?
Yeah, I know. Mine is to everyone from me, but I did see hers. I wonder how I did that.
Huh.
I just typed it in at the bottom there.
Well, Eva, is it okay if I just copy yours and post it again?
Yeah, just copy it over. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get up and get something. I'll be right back.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Adam, I first found you through Coffee and Creatives.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they posted your thing. They posted this meeting on Coffee and Creatives, and that's how I found you. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I bet it was Eric.
Oh, maybe it was Eric. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was in the first meeting too. Oh, yeah. You saw him there. Okay, because I didn't do it, but I'll give him a thanks and a shout out. I'm now part of Coffee and Creatives, and it's something I've wanted to join for a long time, but since I wasn't like a Facebook presence until now, I was planning to join them like when I could actually go to one of the conferences, which I think it costs to join those conferences. And I just didn't feel like I was a place in my business at the moment to invest in that at the time. There's so many little quirks I was trying to figure out. But at this point, it's like, okay, well, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good to thank you for letting me know that, because figuring out how to, and that's the biggest thing about this virtual stuff, is figuring out what avenues are working for you. Yeah. And it's like, especially, and it's going to be slow unless you already have a following, like you have already in your stuff. Which is
I do
cool.
have a following. I'm trying to get more of a following.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to drive people to my website somehow.
Yeah. Well, you know what you could do is, if you want, you could post these videos on there, or even the link of the Zoom to say like, oh, you can come and talk to me on Zoom here with this location and get to know the people. But if you think it's appropriate, because our big focus is on entrepreneurs. Yeah. But you're welcome to invite anybody you want, because I find that this discussion blooms with the people that we're talking with.
Yes.
So that's what I love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to be reaching out more and more.
Yeah.
Online. So
And I liken it to the fog of fog of war. It's like the fog of COVID,
It is. And so you're on it, though. I really think you have the best idea. Can I hook you with physicians that are all over the world?
Excellent. Yeah. I'm happy to, if it's creating an avenue for people to, be more creative and find solutions, that's what I'm all about. I want to introduce, Sparks Flow. And I named it because I want people to take their ideas and make them flow, move forward.
So Adam,
yes.
I do have to get off here in about 15 minutes, but I just
ask your questions.
So Is Zoom going to charge you more if you're hooked up with 90 physicians, 100?
No. If it gets huge and I need to change my dynamic on it, then I'll deal with that. But I don't. It's like there's something like 100 something, and then other people can watch. I don't know, and I don't. I mean, I'd be surprised. But if I get 90 physicians on here in the next couple of weeks, so
No. But what these physicians are having to deal with right now is the telemedicine network. I did a telemedicine grant in 2004 in Denver for a year. There's reimbursement for it. The issue is learning the skill set to do a home visit like you're doing with me. Like, think of you're visiting me in my home.
Yeah.
And taking care of somebody.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? They have to listen and they have to listen. They have to ask the symptoms. They have to triage somebody essentially, and then make a recommendation or write a prescription to a pharmacy without seeing somebody in person. Now, there's a skill set involved in triage.
Yeah.
And so that they should have learned it, but they're damn sure will now.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that.
They can't see, or they can go to someone's home in their community. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Can you coach people on Zoom by the next time we meet?
Sure.
Next Friday?
Next time they come in, like, such coaching people on like how to do things on Zoom.
Right, but I want you to charge them a little bit if you do this. Okay?
No, sure.
There's a psychologist that called me 2 days ago on Zoom, and she really helped me a lot. And I had met her through Meetup.
Yeah.
Now she wants a $49 deposit and all this stuff to do what you're doing here.
Yeah.
But it's not that her model is bad. We're not, there's no bad or good. She's trying to figure out, how am I going to survive on this COVID and make a living? I'm giving you the same option because these doctors are faced right now with, they don't want to bring anybody in the office with COVID. They want them to stay home. And so if you can teach them to use Zoom correctly, then you've taught them a skill, and it's certainly worth your charging for, especially a young person.
Well, and it's up my alley because. And what we could do is we could set up something separate than that, because I don't want to make this charged. Does that make sense?
No. This is this is an intro lecture.
Right. This is just like interacting and stuff.
And we're all great friends.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Or become them. Right. So I like this.
We're all friends. It's like I asked her about the original block prints because one of my challenges right now, I'm trying to write the book and get it. I'm going to have to self-publish.
That's great.
Well, but we do know people through Meetup.
Well, that you're getting something done. But
But we know these people through Meetup.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're people that run, and I think what their business is actually called. Anyway, they offer services to web hosting.
Yeah.
They teach WordPress.
Right.
Well, I've been hanging with those people for 2 years now. And so what skill you have now is with Zoom. What I need is somebody to do illustrations for me that's not afraid of meeting with me in person.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
So I'll find those people, I mean, in the Albuquerque community and get it done.
Oh, cool.
But these physicians are all hooked to me through Facebook, and they're all trying to pick my brain on diabetes. I had one pick it for about 45 minutes last night. And he's not even my Facebook friend.
So
he caught me online.
There's so much stuff here. Like, and I'm sorry you have to go so fast, but I actually lived and worked with a priest that had died of diabetes eventually. But he was living a very full life as diabetes was taking his body away.
Right, because he wasn't eating right, but it's very complicated. So we're not going to get into it.
But he's a great guy. So that's my big experience with diabetes.
We're going to do this.
So let's contact by email afterwards. You asked about Julianna, so I'd like her to kind of tell you a little about her. She's showing you her shop by walking around. Whether or not she knew.
I can't see her shop. How come? I can't.
Oh, because I'm talking. I'll pin her up.
Oh, okay. That's how you do it. You pin her up?
I can pin her video.
Hi, I'm sorry I've got like multiple things going on this morning.
That's great. I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah, I do original block prints, so I have, I can't show you my shop right now because I have food being delivered.
That's
Oh,
funny.
life's good, Julia. So next week we can do.
But I print on bags, and I'm trying to get more of a market for those bags somehow, since a lot of carry out is being done, and a lot of I've been printing flowers on bags, and I've gotten some orders, but I just don't have enough of an audience yet to. And I did approach one restaurant that was doing takeout, but they're suffering so badly from very little business that they weren't open to it. So I'm trying to find other places that might be open. I was thinking about putting a plant inside the bag and then promoting it for Mother's Day or something like that.
So Julianna, I'm gonna put you move you into a thought process with Eve, because Eve mentioned that she's looking for illustrators for some of her work. So I don't know if that's something that you guys would be interested in working on together, but.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm really focused on what I do, and I don't do illustrations.
No worries. I have several in Albuquerque, but we wanted to know what you do because we're going to connect people all over the place through Zoom.
Okay, well, I'm going to just go back and get one of my bags real quick.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
cool.
Show it to you.
Perfect. Because you know what? Sherry out of the source, this could be something for her. So what I'm going to do, Adam, is invite her next Friday, right?
Great. Yeah.
And then we'll see. And the physicians, we may want to do a separate one for them. So you and I will connect and figure out. Just because they don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And they can be very abrupt and ugly behaved. Or think they are. No, think they are, because know that in order for them to see like 20 people in a day, they have to be,
those are pretty.
They zoom in themselves into what the chief complaint is, and then they have to deal with it.
Well, I'm a wilderness first responder. So, but their time is, unless it's an emergency, is usually on my side, because they're just out in the wilderness. They're not going to do anything, whereas, if it's an emergency, and they've got only so much time. Those are cool bags though, Julianna.
Where are they?
Yeah, they're hollyhock bags.
Oh, those are gorgeous. Thank you.
I've got the blue and I've got the pink.
Oh, I love it.
So I'm trying to promote those, but I don't quite have enough of an audience yet.
Well,
I'm working on it.
There's other stuff she's got going on too, and Julianna made it known that one of the things she's known for is if you drive down Mountain, you'll see the street art banners that are up there, and they're.
Oh my goodness, this is so awesome! You know what? And what time is it? I can't see the clock. I don't even wear a watch.
It's almost 11.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go, Adam. But you know what? Next, I'll send you an email and just think about. We'll figure out to do a separate meeting, because what I'm interested in doing is learning Zoom, and maybe you and I'll start teaching these physicians about diabetes and monetize it a teeny bit. Just enough to pay for a website or whatever. I'm on Social Security, so I'm not starving.
Can I call you later today?
Well, probably not, but I will call you if you'd like. It will be easier.
Oh, let me give you contact information. Let me scroll down to that.
What I call you. Oh, there we go. Okay. I probably have your business.
I also have to go because I have someone coming actually to pick up a bag.
Oh, this is so awesome. You got a customer.
Thank you for saying hi, Julianna.
Yeah, it's good to see both of you, and we'll touch base again next week, hopefully.
Look forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you for showing some place. This is the first time I've gotten to see Julianna on Zoom. She's been like you, Eve, with the just the name. You too.
Thank you, and thank you very much. And we have a plan, right? So what I'll do is I'll get on Facebook and talk. See if they're interested in learning Zoom, because these doctors are up
Bye,
shit creek.
Julianna.
That's, pardon my French, but they are.
Yeah.
I didn't realize UNMH was so restricted, but that makes sense. Thank
Okay.
you so very much, all of you.
You
Oh, I
too.
loved this. This was so much fun. Thank you.
Bye, Eve.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Julianna. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining me and coming and seeing all this and new things happening. That was really exciting. And it's neat, like how we're just getting together and like different people meeting are actually getting to like, come up with connections. So Eve is giving me ideas that I hadn't quite thought of yet for my business, but because we're just talking, and that's what the whole point of this is that by getting together, making connections and saying, oh, this person can offer this, and like something coming out of it. And that's what I'm really excited about this, that being able to make the space for that. And that if she's able to make more business for Julianna and bring, that beauty to other people's homes and businesses, that's great. I mean, that's some of the stuff that we're gonna really struggle to get to through all this change. So they reached out and everything, and I'll talk more about reaching out next time. I was really hoping to talk with Allison was going to talk to us about something she's talked to me on the outside about for a business outreach program that she's thinking we do to kind of like make a presence of the businesses that are here, to say that we're still here, and we're still offer some things, or that we'll still be here after all of this. And so like some ways to kind of promote ourselves at the same time of helping other people out. So like the promotion would also be a beneficial thing. It's just like a lot of banks or other institutions will create these beneficial programs that they have, and then they brand it with their own brand, but they're still doing a good thing for other people, and they're also making a name for themselves. And that's what she's trying to create for small businesses and stuff locally. And so I think it's really cool. And there's also a competition that the city's doing, and I'd put that on my slides. So let me share that real quick again, because I thought that would be something that people would appreciate. Has okay, here's a link, and hopefully you're able to see this link. But a New Mexico Social Enterprise Challenge, a pitch in. So you can grab that, and if you just type that and search that, you'll probably find it. But the competition goes till April 6th. So if you're watching this afterwards, I don't know, they might have extended the deadline again, so you can still check it out. But I'm encouraging Allison to apply for this thing. They are extended the application once. There's another guy that I talked to with hydro. It's a hydro bar, and he's got like ionized water that he's doing. And what he's done is he's taken MLM, multi-level marketing program. He also calls it direct marketing, but he's taken it a step further. Instead of just like, here you can like buy from me and then you can sell to other people kind of thing. He's actually created a space where you can come in and get this ionized water. And it's really cool. It's like medical grade. I think it's a really neat program, and that I think he could really apply that towards this somehow, possibly too, just like help people's health during this time. I don't know much about it, so don't quote me medically, but it sounds pretty firm. Anyway, so if you happen to see this particular thing, I hope you are able to see it on your screen. I can't tell what you see right now very well until I flip around. Then you could possibly apply for this. If you've got some cool idea to help out the city or people that are in the city, medically or otherwise, to kind of respond. And I don't know much about the competition, but I would encourage you to check it out if you see it. And I think that's really great that they did that. Okay. You have a great day. Keep the sparks flowing, and thank you for joining me. Video. Pause, stop recording. Oh, I'm over here now. Oh, play, I'm over here now. Boom, I'm right there now. That was funny, weird. Okay, now I'm gonna actually stop the recording.